Welcome into the living room on 938 Live, and we're chatting with Sam Bedi, who's an Australian-born professional musician and founder of the company Samana, currently based here in Singapore. And through Samana, he's decided to launch this online initiative. It's called clickSANGEET, Music Learning Redefined. It's a music learning platform, as the name suggests, and it introduces a new approach to music education for all ages. Thanks so much for joining us today, Sam, and exciting times for you as well. There's a concert coming up, and you've released a CD. Gosh, can't believe I said that all in one breath. So let's first talk about clickSANGEET,
Sure.
Music Learning Redefined.
Right.
How does it work? It's a patented learning system.
It is.
Are you allowed to tell us? Or
No, absolutely.
We're gonna have to figure
Absolutely. So the background to it is that I've been a music performer and teacher for going on about 20 years now, even from when I started in Australia and moving to Singapore. But one of the things that I noticed, Howie, was with regards to teaching, music is often characterized by people who start learning, but after a few years, or many children start learning, but a few years after that, then they cease to learn. And then the obvious question is why?
You're right. I did that. Stopped learning the piano when I was 10 or something. I don't want to practice anymore. So you're looking at that as the starting point of why you've decided to develop a different way.
That's right.
Okay.
So we just went behind the understanding as to why that was the case, and a combination of our own instinct, the people that I've been involved with, as well as also some research that we did conduct. And we found that one of the big issues is around motivation. And that really is linked to learning songs that your teacher might come to your house, put a book in front of you, but it's not things or not songs that you connect or relate to. So our platform is very much focused about teaching people their favorite songs, in this instance Bollywood songs. Linked to that is also the idea of getting people to play right from the outset. So it's not a very theory intensive to begin with, but really the interaction of playing.
So scales that were the bane of my existence, those are gone, so
No,
to
they're
speak?
not. They're not gone. Our focus is first of all to get you to start playing your favorite song, because the feeling is if you can do that, the motivation level, the satisfaction level will be a lot higher. So all of the theory, the scales, the arpeggios, and all the theory that comes with music is still part of the system? Absolutely, because it's a cornerstone that you need to have in order to build and subsequently improve. But what we do is to focus on the playing element first, and then link to that, and the third aspect to what we do is to create performance opportunities, performance platform through the online or the social community that we build as part of clickSANGEET. So you learn your favorite song, you focus on playing them immediately, and then thereafter uploading and sharing them, so you get this sense of performance and almost becoming your own star, so to speak.
Right. So what's been the response? Have you found that kids stay longer learning with you?
Yeah, so the response up to date, we launched clickSANGEET a few months ago, and so the response has been very positive with regards to the attraction that people have to the songs, attraction to the idea of animation and other techniques that we've used that enables them to learn on their own. So the emphasis here is so people can do their own online learning, so from the convenience element to it. So from that point of view, it's been very strong. So we're now speaking with a number of schools and looking to introduce this as an extracurricular activity, as well as also partly related to their in-school curriculum activities. So from that point of view, we've been delighted with the response. Focused in Singapore at this point in time, but now starting to interact and engage with countries outside. Because again, the power of the community is not just building a community within Singapore, it's having people from outside of Singapore. So all of a sudden, you being able to interact with people from countries like the United States, Malaysia, the United Kingdom, Dubai, Australia, India as well. So there's a real power that has when you can learn from people and interact with people who share your own passion.
What inspired you to do this? I mean, you're obviously a survivor of those scales, and you survived that sort of didactic way of learning.
I did. But what I saw with my own two children, and we've been living in Singapore now for about 10 years' time, but what I saw with my own children is whilst they're both very, very competent with regards to instruments like piano and guitar, I could start to see some of their frustration as well as they were going from one grade level to the next. And as I was observing them, I thought, you know, in honesty, I felt the same frustration at this point in time. It just so happened that I managed to perhaps get over that hump, but a lot of people don't. And
when you say frustrations, is it particular pieces they might not like?
Correct. Again, it's about the amount of time that you spend the effort that goes into learning a song, and then a few of those things. It's not really a song that you know, that you relate to. It's not something that you can perform amongst your friends and get that sense of their engagement into the song as well.
Ah, okay. So there's no, check it out, I can play Lady Gaga's track or something.
Exactly, which will always, we know how it works amongst children in particular, about that peer mentality that exists, that you want to play something that will be engaging to those that you play with or you perform to. But it's not just limited for children. We've found that we've had adults using the system as well. We've got a number of adults that are part of those that have registered and part of the program. We're speaking to organisations as well as an encouragement for people to learn outside of their work hours, because we know that there is a significant personal or almost health element associated with music learning as well, just from a relaxation standpoint.
That would be cool. Imagine being your own John Lennon, so to speak. Yeah, we're chatting with Sam Bedi, who's an Australian-born professional musician. He started clickSANGEET. Music Learning Redefined seems no more that didactic, your teacher with a wooden stick knocking your knuckles kind of way of learning the piano and instruments. And also, he isn't one who is, those who can't teach. Sam's got a concert coming up. We'll give you details in just a bit. And also a new CD. More, stay with us on The Living Room, 938 Live.
The Living Room on 938 Live. Time now to rejoin The Living Room on 938 Live.
Thanks for staying with us on The Living Room on 938 Live. We're chatting with Sam Bedi. He's launched a new kind of learning initiative online called clickSANGEET, Music Learning Redefined. No more of your piano teacher rapping your knuckles, no more of those scales. Well, not really. Just in a fun and easier way for you to digest it all. And also, he's got a concert coming up at the Esplanade Recital Studio called Bollywood Redefined Concert 2013. It's on the 27th of August. You're working with some diverse people as well. It's been pegged as Mozart to Rahman, Beethoven to Shah Rukh. Tell us a bit more. I'm getting confused.
All right. So the background to it is, if I think about my own background growing up, Howie, it's an Australian-born but living in a traditional Indian household. So that East and West fusion. So my music interest, as per your own lifestyle interest, reflects that as well. So when I came to Singapore quite a few years back, I got more back into the performing side of things. And at that point in time, I had the idea of a show that brought together these two elements, East and West, and hence the idea of kind of Bollywood and then redefining it to capture this idea of India and the influences around it. And so then that was the genesis of the thought process. And then in the process of that, I was fortunate to meet up with some terrific musicians. I think people that have also featured on the show before.
Yes, we've chatted with these are highly talented brothers, Govind and Krishna. They're of the group Flames of the Forest. Correct. Along with their cousin.
That's right, with Dexter. So this time around, I had the opportunity to cross paths with them, I guess, if you want to call it that, about 3 or 4 years ago. And I started to share this idea that I had in my mind. I was playing that anyway on the piano, and what I was looking for were musicians that had a similar diversity to their own interests. And so initially it started with Govind, and then from there it incorporated Krishna on the sitar, and then their cousin Dexter as well. And so over the last few years, we've been performing both within Singapore and overseas as well. This particular show, Bollywood Redefined. From Rahman to Beethoven, Shah Rukh to Gaga, what that really is designed to capture is this breadth of music that we bring, both in terms of genre, East and West, but also history as well. Because we find that people I think increasingly, when you live in these culturally diverse worlds, your music interest expands as well. And so that's really what we're bringing to the stage.
So help us wrap our heads around it. It might be you at the piano playing
so the setting
a Lady Gaga piece.
Correct. So there would be me on the piano playing. What we do as a show is about a 2-hour show, and we cover over 35 or 36 songs. So it's a lot of music that we cover as we move from either one, whether it be Bollywood to English, from previous to contemporary, and we kind of systematically move through that. All linked as part of a theme, and there are several themes that we talk to during the show. And so it centers around myself on the piano, along with Govind and Krishna, along with a few other musicians, both internationally performing as well, to complement on keyboard, guitar, harmonium. So it's not just about the song breadth, but also the instrument breadth as well, both from an East and West form. This time around, though, what we're doing is to extend the show to actually incorporate a DJ well known within Singapore by the name of Chris Columbus. So he will be coming on stage and we will do a set together which brings together the piano and DJ, or acoustic and electronic, for what we think will be one of the first times that this happens.
Sounds like a lot of stuff going on at the stage at the same time.
It is. It's a 2-hour show, and our endeavour is to try and incorporate as much as we can from a start to end within that 2-hour show. We've been able to do this format now for a number of years. It seems to have been well received in the countries that we've performed, and so we're delighted to bring it back to Singapore this time. So there's a lot to expect for people, so we certainly encourage them to come down.
Are you concerned, though, because fans can range from the nonchalant to the rabid? So when they hear their favorite track done in a different way, there could be varying responses. There could be, what the? There could be, that's interesting.
There could be. But what we've found in the past is, whilst that's certainly, people can have, and what we want is people to have their own interpretation to music, but I think it's that idea of bringing a familiarity of song brought to them in a slightly different way, so they still can connect and relate to the song. And again, that's something that we come back to, the ability for the audience to connect. When you have over 35 songs, the likelihood is there are going to be a number of songs that are your favourite singer, that are your favourite composer, musician, etc., that you latch onto and connect to. So we think that relevance plays a big reason why people connect to the show.
But by virtue of your objectivity, which is to bring it to more people, you would, I assume, pick songs that are, or tracks that are familiar already in whatever genre you're picking, right?
In fact, even this time around, we're incorporating some Pitbull. Not because of the fact that he's coming to Singapore, but just by virtue of the fact that, you want to move and evolve the show to make sure that you incorporate latest trend, what people are listening to at home, in a bar, etc. So we're always looking to reinvent in terms of the song content, but the nature of the show, the concept of the show of east, west, breadth of instruments that we have is the cornerstone to the show.
Is it challenging, though, figuring out what pieces you pick? Because some things just sort of don't work. Metallica with an orchestra just,
you're right.
It kind of doesn't work.
You're right, Howie. And so we go through a process through the rehearsals that we do with the guys to say what
so
works. So
during rehearsal, it could be still quite organic. You haven't pinned down what the playlist is.
By this stage we have, I can assure. But certainly when we start out, we start with a long list. And the idea is to then try and streamline that to see what feels right, what works right. Now, that does not mean that a song that we play cannot be changed in terms of its form, in terms of you can do an upbeat of a particular song that otherwise is more of a ballad. To some extent, it just feels what feels right as you're playing it. But you're right, some songs just don't necessarily hit the right note from a connection point of view when you're playing.
Is that a challenging process? I mean, so many of you together trying to figure out. Is it a too many cooks kind of situation?
No, again, this is where I think when you work with not just professional musicians as we do, but also open-minded musicians, where it really is a case of ego to one side, what is the best thing for the show. So the way it normally works is I will start and come up with the idea of how the show should work from start to end. That will involve a number of songs, and then we come together, we work through that, and then we start to refine and edit, because I think it's one of those things where it's easier to work off something that is there as opposed to just come up something together. So that's normally how we do it.
Sounds really interesting. Can't wait to go. Bollywood Redefined Concert 2013, 27th of August at 7:30 Esplanade Recital Studio. Here's the number to ring if you'd like tickets. 8607-1890. That's 8607-1890, or try Bollywood Redefined at live.com.sg. Imagine Mozart with the sitar, your favorite Bollywood theme song on the piano. It'll all be mashed up. Sam Bedi, thank you so much for joining us today. Also, check out his learning portal, clickSANGEET, Music Learning Redefined. Imagine no more music teacher rapping on your knuckles. It's a whole new way to learn how to play your favorite instrument. Thank you again, Sam.
Thank you.
Jazzing up your day with a touch of soul. The Living Room on 938 Live.